Yasodanandana vrajajana ranjana Yasodanandana vrajajana ranjana Damunatera vanachari Yamunatera vanachari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhatto Vrinda Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Yananda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Go-mithunaṁ Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hare Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaura Premanande, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanande, Hri Hri Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. And before I start, I want to request all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi, especially the senior one, to bless me, that I may speak something according to the Guru Parampara and according to the scriptures, Shastra. Hare Krishna. So today, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 16, text 4. Okay. Nijagrāhaujasā vīraḥ kalim digvijaye kvacit nṛpa-liṅga-dharaṁ śūdram ghanam go-mithunaṁ padā nijagrāhaujasā vīraḥ kalim digvijaye kvacit nṛpa-liṅga-dharaṁ śūdram ghnantaṁ go-mithunam padā nijagrāhaujasā vīraḥ kalim digvijaye kvacit nṛpa-liṅga-dharaṁ śūdram ghnantaṁ go-mithunam padā nijagrāhaujasā vīraḥ nṛpa-liṅga-dharaṁ śūdram ghnantaṁ go-mithunam padā. Matajis, ladies, Don't be afraid. Try at least one. Nijagrāhaujasā vīraḥ kalim digvijaye kvacit nṛpa-liṅga-dharaṁ śūdram ghnantaṁ go-mithunam padā. Very good. Anybody else? Nijagrāha, sufficiently punished. Ojasā, by prowess. Vīraḥ, valiant hero. Kalim, unto Kali, the master of the age. Digvijaye, on his way to conquer the world. Kvacit, once upon a time. nṛpa-liṅga-dharaṁ, one who passes in the dress of a king. śūdram, the lower class. ghnantam, hurting. go-mithunam, a cow and a bull. Padā, on the leg. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Once when Mahārāja Parīkṣit was on his way to conquer the world, he saw the master of Kali-yuga, who was lower than a śūdra, disguised as a king, and hurting the leg of a cow and a bull. The king at once caught hold of him and dealt sufficient punishment. Please repeat after me. Once when Mahārāja Parīkṣit was on his way to conquer the world, he saw the master of Kali-yuga, who was lower than a śūdra, disguised as a king, hurting the leg of the cow and the bull. The king at once caught hold of him to deal sufficient punishment. Purport. The purpose of a king is going out to conquer the world is not for self-aggrandizement. Mahārāja Parīkṣit went out to conquer the world after his ascendance to the throne. But this was not for the purpose of aggression or on other states. He was the emperor of the world, and all small states were already under his regime. His purpose in going out was to see how things were going on in terms of the godly state. The king, being the representative of the Lord, has to execute the will of the Lord duly. There is no question of self-aggrandizement. Thus, as soon as Mahārāja Parīkṣit saw that a lower-class man in the dress of a king was hurting the leg of a cow and a bull, at once he arrested and punished him. The king cannot tolerate insults to the most important animal, the cow, nor can he tolerate disrespect for the most important man, the brāhmanas. Human civilization means to advance the cause of Brahminical culture, and to maintain it, cow protection is essential. There is a miracle in milk, for it contains all the necessary vitamins to sustain human physiological condition for higher achievements. Brahminical culture can advance only when man is educated to develop the quality of goodness. And for this, there is a prime necessity of food prepared with milk, fruits, and grains. Mahārāja Parīkṣit was astonished to see that a black śūdra, dressed like a ruler, was mistreating a cow, the most important animal in human society. The age of Kali means mismanagement and quarrel. And the root cause of mismanagement and quarrel is that worthless man with the modes of lower class man who have no higher ambition in life, come to the helm of the state management. Such a man, at the post of the king, are sure to first hurt the cow and the Brahminical culture, thereby pushing all society towards hell. Mahārāja Parīkṣit, trained as he was, got the scent of this root cause of all quarrel in the world. Thus, he wanted to stop it in the very beginning. I read again the translation. Once when Mahārāja Parīkṣit was on his way to conquer the world, he saw the master of Kali-yuga, who was lower than śūdra, disguised as a king, and hurting the leg of a cow and a bull. The king at once caught hold of him and dealt sufficient punishment. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakṣurum Nidhanmeda Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasatate Satarine. Vancha Kalpa Karuvischa Kripasindu Bevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Tadvadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhatta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada gives a lecture in 1974 in Los Angeles on this particular sloka. And yesterday I was listening to it. It's very nice, very short lecture where Prabhupada starts by saying that there are 4 divisions in the human society. Brāhmaṇa, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Śūdras. And these are naturally available all over the world. We can see there is a class of people who are intellectual, we say poets, scientists, who are like brahmanas, intellectual, who's supposed to be the head. Then there are Kshatriya, who are soldier, or manager, or protector of the society. Then there is Vaishyas, who are the mercantile people, who can make money, who can supposed to protect the cow, but they don't do it anymore. And then there are Śūdras. But he said that unfortunately in Kali-yuga there is Kalo Śūdra Sambhava. Everybody is born as a Śūdra in ignorance. And he explained why. Because there is no Garbhodan Sanskar anymore. In the ancient time, the Brahmanas or the children born in a Brahmin family, most probably they would inherit also the quality of the father and mother. But because the Garbhodan Sanskar is not performed anymore, people are born as a Śūdra or in ignorance. Nevertheless, there are qualities in everybody's. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the quality, or I am the ability in man. So each one has to do a little soul searching, find out what is my quality, because we can engage that quality in the service of the Lord. So, but the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Śūdra, Srila Prabhupada goes on explaining, it's just like the head, the arm, the stomach, the belly, and the leg. So everything is important in the body. We cannot say, oh, no problem. The leg will work fine. Only the leg we need. Can the leg go by itself without the head, without the stomach? No, it doesn't work. And then Srila Prabhupada goes explaining that, even 100 years ago, because there were brahmanas and they were dedicated to the truth and they were propagating this Vedic culture, people were very pious. So much so that anybody who lost anything in the street, let's say you lose your purse, nobody would touch it. Nobody would touch it because they will think, well, the person who lost the purse, the money, will come back here and find it. And unfortunately nowadays it's not like that. You know, I had a similar experience when I was in Japan. I was in Tokyo, and in the morning I went for morning walk. I was chanting in the streets, and I saw one pearl necklace on the floor. And I stopped, and I saw people walking by, but nobody touched it. I thought, what, they don't see it? They saw it. I said, anyway, I'll go and walk that side, and I'll come back. I came back after 1 hour. The pearl necklace was still there, and people were still walking. So there is a remnants of this culture, which was all over the world. The Vedic culture was all over the world. There is another example, is like when Alexander the Great wanted to invade India. He came with his army, but then he went in the night in disguise with a translator, and he went around the village and see, and he saw a group of people, and there were two people fighting, arguing against each other, and there was a big trunk in front of them made of wood. So Alexander the Great, he got a translation from this person saying what they're fighting about. One brāhmaṇa was telling the other brāhmanas, he said, this trunk, it's yours. And the other brāhmana say, no, 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 no. This trunk, it's yours. He said, wait a minute. You sold me the land. Okay? The land is mine. But when I dig, I found this trunk. And therefore this land which you give to me, I had this trunk inside, and I want to give it back to you. You opened the trunk, was full of jewelry, diamonds, pearls, gold coins, silver, so many valuable things. And you say, no, look, I sell you the land. Whatever there was inside my land is not mine anymore. It's yours now. You have to take it. You say, no, 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 no. I don't want to take it. I will become a thief. This land was yours. The trunk was inside. Your relative, somebody put it there. I didn't put it. I just purchased the land for cultivation. So you must take this trunk. He said, I refuse. I will not take this trunk. At that point, Alexander the Great turned to his friend and said, let's go back. We cannot conquer these people. And the guy said, why? Because they're not greedy. They're not lusty. They're so pure. They're so honest that we cannot fight against them. We'll be defeated. And he went back. That's a nice story. Alexander the Great. But Srila Prabhupada went on to mention another story. He said that Satadamba was a small boy who went to Gautama Rishi, and he said, pay obeisance to him, he said, my dear Gurudev, I want to become your disciple. He said, yes, but please tell me, are you a Brahmana? Are you born in a Brahmin family? At the time there was the caste system, and of course, only the Brahmana are supposed to learn the Vedas. So he said, I don't know. Well, go back to your mother and ask. So Satadamba went back with a small child. He's only 7, 8 years old. He went to his mother and said, my dear mother, I want to go and learn the Vedas and the scripture, but the Guru, Gautama Rishi, told me to find out who is my father. The mother said, actually, I do not know. Who is your father? So he went back the next day. He paid obeisance to his guru, Gautama Rishi, said, so who is your father? He said, actually, my mother doesn't know. And at that point, Gautama Rishi said, I will accept you as my disciple. And he was surprised himself. He said, because you must be a Brahmana. You are telling the truth. You're not hiding the fact that your mother doesn't know who is the father. The mother was a maidservant. Srila Prabhupada said maidservant. They didn't know who was the father. They're serving in so many places. So because he was truthful, then he was accepted as a disciple. And Prabhupada goes into explaining about the quality of the Brahman. What is the famous slogan of the Bhagavad Gita? Samo damas tapaso cham kshantam aryama evacha. Jnana vigyan astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. So what are the qualities of brahmanas? Truthful, self-control. Yeah. These are the quality, honesty, by which the brahmana work. He said, why there is so much chaos in our society nowadays? Because there is no more brahmanas. And Srila Prabhupada explained now about the milk. How important is to drink milk for the brain? Yes? But nowadays, if you go to America and Europe, you cannot find pure milk anymore. They added something, they removed something, they mixed something else, added with vitamin K, added with fish oil, added with this and that. And it's illegal for the people who produce the milk to sell the milk to private party. They can only sell it to the government. I was in Australia for 1 year. We see thousands of cows, beautiful grazing. And sometime I asked Manu Maharaj, wow, beautiful cows. He said, yes, but they are all sent to the slaughterhouse. So that is unfortunate. The people do not understand anymore what is right and what is wrong. And Srila Prabhupada goes and explaining in 1974, he say, every day in India they are killing 10,000 cows. That was in 74. Now I yesterday checked on Google, and I checked number 4 in the list of exporting cow meat is India. Before USA, before Australia, before Brazil, and number 4 in the leather export. What's going on? Where are the leaders who protect the cows? Where is the government, the kshatriya, who's supposed to give protection not only to human beings? Nowadays, of course, there is no protection for anybody. Prabhupada say, no problem. Just pay the income tax. As long as you pay the tax, you are fine. You can be a rascal, you can be a rogue, you can be a cheater. You can steal money in different way. There is one person who ran away with 250 million Bitcoin. He came to India and he died. And he is the only person who has the password. So what happened to your Bitcoin? A scam, it's gone. $250 million. Welcome to Kali-yuga, cheaters and cheated. Yeah, people, they did interview, oh, I had all my money, I put it, but what is the predominating things? Greed. Everybody thinks I'll make a quick bucks. I'll make money very fast. I'll buy some Bitcoin, I'll sell it after 1 year and make double amount of money. Some people become millionaire. Bitcoin, whatever it is, I don't know. Doesn't exist, it's in the computer. So Srila Prabhupada explained how important is to have Brahminical class of people. And in one funny remark, he said, even within our society, there are people who think, I am the boss, you have to listen to me, I know the things. And the other people say, why I listen to you, I am also a boss, and they go on fighting. And Srila Prabhupada laugh. So the idea is that devotees are above varnashrams. They can perform any service dedicated to please Krishna. And the Lord will accept that service and become pleased. So it doesn't really matter whether we are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudras. Because the moment we say, Krishna, I am yours, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am parcel of you and I want to serve you with love. It doesn't really matter. Of course, the whole society should upgrade themselves to be guided by the Brahmanas, because in the situation of Varnashram, everybody can thrive and everybody can be happy, because Krishna is in the center. But in the modern society, there is chaos. there's war, and there is karma which is coming back. No one can escape karma. People think, oh, I can steal money, nobody sees me. But Krishna sees everything. So this Kali-yuga is manda sumanda madayo manda bhagya hupadrita. It's very, very dangerous. It's a dark place. You can trust no one. But nevertheless, once in a day of Brahma, Lord Chaitanya and Krishna come. Out of their own causeless mercy, they feel so sorry for this rotten living entity in the material world. Lord Chaitanya come and say, forget everything. Just chant Hare Krishna and go back to God. So he gives us a quick elevation to the spiritual world. Now, of course, we also want to be conscious of what we do. That's why Srila Prabhupada was very strict about the four regulated principles. Because Krishna said, no one can be my devotee if they are sinful. You can be sinful before. Jagai Madai, they were very sinful. But once they surrendered to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, they were completely free from all sinful reaction. So, Srila Prabhupada said, you can make so many mistakes, but don't keep on making the same mistake, then you become a rascal. You become fallen. So, this Krishna consciousness is a personal journey. We can be all together helping each other, but at one point, we ourselves have to decide what we want, what we really want, what we really desire. Because the influence of material nature is heavy on everybody. Billboards, radio, television, Netflix, whatever, you can name it. It's so propagating the idea of Kali. Just eat, drink, and be merry. By hook or by crook, make some money. Cheat, borrow, steal. And Srila Prabhupada goes on explaining these four things are present now all over the world. And the government is not doing anything. You can go to Tirupati and find Balaji wine. Yes? Who have been in Tirupati? Somebody? So, you can see. Balaji wine? Balaji wants me to drink wine? What? What nonsense is this? Slaughterhouse. When we go to Calcutta on the left side, you can see the slaughtering the cows. And number 4 exporter of cow meat in the world. Because people have short sight. They see, we make money, no? India need money, it's poor country, so it doesn't matter what we do. We are India, no problem. We can nullify all this karma. No, you cannot. You can nullify, you cannot nullify, you cannot do some pujas on demigod, even you worship Krishna. Krishna will not accept the worship from such low-class people who allow cow slaughter. So, we are in a very precarious situation in this material world. And there is only way we can become free from this influence of Kali is to be in touch with the other devotees and through the chanting of the holy name. Because until and unless we take seriously this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we will never be able to purify our mind. Cheto Darpanamarjanam, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote many books, all based on this Sikshastakam. You can read them. It goes deep and deep into each sloka explaining. So our mind is contaminated for millions of lifetimes. But then we come and have this human form of life. And now we are fortunate to be with the devotees. We have even taken initiation. We are following the process, but somewhere in between we are getting lost. We can get lost. If we are not very careful, Srila Prabhupada said that this walk of spiritual life is like walking on a razor edge. Like for us when we shave in the morning, if you space that and you don't look properly, maybe you cut yourself. So, spiritual life is very easy. Chant Hare Krishna, follow the instruction of Prabhupada, take only Krishna Prasadam, follow the spiritual program, go back home, back to God. It's simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated. So, we have to really scrutinize our desire in our heart, because ultimately there is the GPS. What we desire, Krishna will give us. You think that Krishna will not give us? We want to become Brahma, we want money, we want wealth, we want this, we want that, whatever we want, because we are chanting His name, Krishna will give us. But that can be dangerous. So we have to purify our desire. How can I please Krishna? How can I desire to please Krishna? And the easiest way is to please the Vaishnavas. If we please the Vaishnavas, then Krishna becomes pleased. Now, of course, we have a personal relationship with Krishna, but how to please Krishna directly, it's impossible for us. Lakshmi sahasra sadasam brahmasevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna has millions of Lakshmi who are serving Him, who is sweeping the floor, which is clean. There's no dust in the spiritual world. And who are we? Lost spiritual world, lost in the material world, marginal living entity, insignificant, but still the Lord loves us. And He comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes Himself. Chedodarpanamarjanam, clean your mind. Come back home, back to God. When Krishna comes, He says, Sarvadam Parityajam my concern. You have to surrender to me, this, that. Lord, who can do that? But Lord Chaitanya come and say, okay, just chant. Sincerely, honestly. Purify your mind. Understand, we are servant. We are depending on the mercy of the Lord. Without His mercy, we cannot progress. Without His mercy, we cannot do anything. We maybe think, oh, I'm very expert. I've been so many years devotees. I know the process. But Krishna is testing us every single day. Because Krishna wants us to become pure devotees. He desired that we go back to the spiritual world. Krishna is amazing. He didn't forget us. He can say, okay, you guys are rotten, get lost, go to the material world, get rotten there forever. Disappear, I don't care, it's your problem. No. He comes again and again. He sends His representative again and again. But we are so stubborn. We don't want to listen to anybody. Oh, my religion said this, my religion said that, my guru said that, my scripture said that. But what is the ultimate goal of all the religion? To love God. And how can we love Krishna? How can we love God? If we don't understand who we are, if we don't understand everything where we have around us is the creation of God, and everything belongs to God. Srila Prabhupada is playing the peace formula. Bhoktaram yagyatapasyam sarvalokamaheshwaram. Everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing is ours. I, me, and mine. My house, my village, my city, my country, my planet, my universe. Now we have a Hubble telescope. We can see beyond the universe. You cannot see beyond the universe. It's closed inside a coconut shell, Prabhupada say. How far can you see? Then the scientists say, well, the star we see in the night, they're 40,000 years far away. So, and there's no life anywhere, only in this planet. Of course, this planet is very special, but there's life everywhere. Prabhupada said there is life inside the river, inside the ocean. There is life inside the earth. There are birds are flying. There's life in the air. There's life everywhere. Why only in this planet there is life? On the moon there is nothing. On Mars there is nothing. On the sun there is nothing. There is nothing everywhere. It's empty. Nice explanation. You are nothing, I'm nothing, we are all nothing. And then some guru come from India, I am God, you are God, we are all God. So people are completely in illusion. Who shall I listen? If I am nothing, why do I follow any religious principle? Because nothing, and after you die there is nothing. So, and if I am God, you are God, we are all God, one day when we die we become God again. Oh, that's also not a big illusion, Mayavadi. Prabhupada said we are eternally individual. And we have a personal relationship with Krishna, with God. And He loves us, but we forgot. That's why we're stuck in this material world forever. But now, we have a human form of life, Manushyan Durlabham. This human form of life is very rare. We can actually understand who I am, what am I doing, where am I going, what is the process. Instead of just being like a donkey with a carrot in the front and carrying all his weight, 500 kilo cloth on his back, and at the end of the day, the master giving some grass. But grass is available everywhere, but the donkey doesn't see the grass. You see the carrots. So, the karma in the material world, they're lost. They are thinking, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to become rich. I'm going to become successful. I'm going to become happy. I'm going to become beautiful. I'm going to be recognized by 1 million click. How many followers you have? But then what? When you die, you're going to take all your followers with you? What's the story? You're going to take all your money with you? Can't take anything. Jesus said, naked you come, naked you go. So, anyway, we have a great blessings. A great blessing in the form of this process, which is very clearly elucidated by Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara. So we have so many books. If you are interested in philosophy, if you are not, you just chant Hare Krishna, take prasadam, go back to God. It's simple. But if you are interested, there is so much philosophy, so much intricacy to understand. And so, we simply have to stick to it, purify our mind, purify our senses. You know, that cheating mentality is always there, hung in the backside. Always, I can cheat the process. I can go fast in this car. There is no camera. Yeah, now they have one box you can buy, even in India. It tells you where are the cameras. They can take a photograph of your car, so they send you a fine. But you cannot cheat the system because Krishna has made such a system. Everything is conscious, and Krishna is aware of everything. So we have to become the sincere seeker, the sincere lover of Krishna. And the process is simple. Chanting Hare Krishna, take Krishna prasadam, follow the instruction, and let's try to help each other. Because, hey, the people who are around us, they're the best people. They're trying. Maybe they're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But so many devotees help us to progress in spiritual life. So I'd like to thank you very much for being very attentive. You're almost falling asleep, so I want to stop here. And if you have some questions, we can try to answer. Otherwise, there are many other great Vaishnavas. So, yes, Jnana Samudra Prabhu. There is a microphone before you become confused. so everybody can listen. I cannot see the time, but because the clock.
See, I'm a little confused with the time factor. Mahārāja Parīkṣit is going out conquering the world, and he's confronting Kali. But our scientists are saying, you know, there's not a correlation of time factors coming into the equation. You know, like, I mean, conquering the world when Europe is an ice age. That confuses me a little bit.
Yeah, so we should study the 5th canto where he explains very clearly about the time. See, the scientists, their vision of time is very small and relative. Where the Bhagavatam explains from the beginning of the creation until today is a cycle, is a cyclic time. It's never-ending time. Time is eternal, right? So in this planet, from our perspective, it's just like when you change from Australia to India, you have to change your time. You are 4.5 hours, we are 4.5 hours ahead or behind. How many hours between here and Australia?
About 15.
Huh? 4.5 hours before or after? Yeah, whatever. So wherever we are in the world, we perceive time in different way, but time is there. So the idea on the 5th canto, Srila Prabhupada and Bhagavatam explain very nicely about this time factor. And there is Satya Yuga, Tetra Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali-yuga. Each yuga is mentioned how long it is. So Sadaputta Prabhu, Richard Thompson, who is no more with us, he explained in many lectures very, very scientific way to understand. All these lectures that are in YouTube, you can also listen to them, because sometimes 5th canto is a little bit complicated for simple mind like me to understand, but if we get somebody to explain to us, because it's a lot of numbers. So my advice to you is don't believe the scientists what they said, because the scientists, their vision is only 2,000 years or 5,000 years, 10,000 years. They discover some bones, they say this is 1 million years old, this, that. But they, see, their vision, they're trying to support their vision of time, because their vision is that we're coming from monkey and evolution. So that is not really the truth. We are not coming from monkey, we're coming from Brahma. And Brahma was created from the lotus navel of Vishnu. And so the whole explanation of time factor is there. Even Brahma died. So 12 hours of Brahma is equal to 1,000 yugas or something. So it's very difficult to understand time. But don't be confused. We are in Kali-yuga for sure. We are in India for sure. We are chanting Hare Krishna for sure. And you can go back together for sure. So once we go back, we can understand everything. But it maybe look like some crazy dream we had in the material world. This is as much I can say. I am very honest. I don't understand myself. So. Is it okay? Yeah, I guess so. We have to study more. The whole world, Prabhupada explained, the whole world he was the emperor of the world. All the other kingdom, Prabhupada explained this purport, if you read it, all the other kingdom were under him. So he went around and checked, how is everything going? Like Ramachandra goes in disguise in the night to listen what people say about his kingdom. So similarly, Mahārāja Parīkṣit went out and checked, how is everything going in the kingdom? And he find Kali. Most probably this is after Krishna disappeared, because then Kali comes, Kali-yuga starts, and then Mahārāja Parīkṣit meets Kali. Correct? Am I correct? I think so. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, 5,000 years, basically. 5,000 years ago.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like as you said, best way to change your desires or like purify yourself is to please Vaishnava. So can you tell me like what is the best way to please Vaishnava?
You invite them to your home and you feed them, you worship their feet, wash their feet, give them a garland, feed them sumptuous prasada. See, my wife, she's coming from Brahmin family. She say, if I give somebody's money, they'll say, oh, this guy is so miserly, give me only 10,000 rupees. He has so much money, he can give me more. If I give gold and diamond, people think, this guy is so stupid, why give me so little? But if you give somebody prasadam, what is in the end of prasadam? Say, enough, I don't want any more. Thank you so much. You are blessed. Haribol. Correct? That's the best way to feed the prasadam, feed the prasada to Vaishnava. The duty of a grihastha, you are married. Not married. Okay, anyhow, you have a house. So call the devotee to your house, do kirtan, feed them prasadam. You feed them sumptuously prasadam, and the devotee will become very happy and bless you. Does this answer your question? Yes?
Thank you.
If you have a lot of money, you want to donate, TOVP needs some money for finishing the temple, so give, no problem. Whatever you have, you can give. Anybody else? There was some other end. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, how do you understand the personality of Kali? Is it a living entity? Is it, how does he come to know? Is it like something like how devatas get to know our sinful? How do we?
See, this, according to my understanding, I don't know if it's correct or not, but Krishna empowered different living entities to perform different type of service. So this Kali is a jiva who came to perform the service of establishing Kali-yuga. And is empowered by the Lord because of the cycle of time. Time has to change. And then Kali has to come. Even I was thinking, what if Mahārāja Parīkṣit actually chop off his head? Would Kali don't come? You go against Satya Yuga? No, it doesn't happen like that. So because Krishna is in the heart of all living entity, he's the supreme controller. So he sent Kali at a particular time, and Kali-yuga is established. Why? Because the living entity who take birth in Kali-yuga, they have to go through this suffering of Kali-yuga. But within the Kali-yuga also Krishna comes himself. He also comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He also sends so many avatars to rescue the living entity. So there are sinful living entities who want to take birth, and they take birth in Kali-yuga on this planet. Those who are pious living entities take birth in higher planetary system. Those who are more sinful than us, they take birth in a lower planetary system. So nothing happened by chance. It's nothing by chance. The scientists want us to believe, oh, by chance you take birth. No, nothing happened by chance. Everything is dominated by karma and time. So time and karma is what is controlling everything. The three modes of material nature, and on top of everything there is Durga with the trident. Adhyatmika adibodhika adidaiva, inflicting the suffering to the living entity. But she's a devotee. She doesn't want to give suffering, but if you end up in jail and somebody beat you in jail, then you say, oh, I was a nice guy. I only stole $1 million. Yeah, you were a nice guy, you stole $1 million, you didn't kill anybody, but you end up in jail, and in jail the treatment is that they beat you, if you're lucky. Yes? So how did we end up here? Obviously, because we were sinful. And then, but still Krishna loves us and say, okay, you can come back. If you are good in jail also, they can diminish your sentence. Yes? Sometimes people, they get life sentence, but they do nice service in the library, they clean the floor, they help the guard, and they say, you know, this guy is actually reformed. The idea of Kali-yuga and karma and the modes of material nature and Durga is that we reform ourselves. Why you're sent to jail? Not to learn to become a better thief, which most people do nowadays, because they meet other thieves. They say, oh, you stole in this way? I can teach you how to steal in a better way. You will not get caught. or when we go out, we'll steal together. I know how to do it, we will not get caught. So the idea is that how we reform ourselves, how we recondition our mentality to think that I did something wrong, that's why I'm here, and I'm willingly taking the medicine to chant Hare Krishna, Cetodarpanamarjanam, and I become humble, Trinadapi Sunichana, and then I want to go back to God because I'm a spirit soul, I deserve to be with God. I don't deserve this suffering. So like that. Does this answer your question?
Just one follow-up question. It's like Brahma is a designation. Similarly, Brahma is a designation. Any living entity can
yes.
become. Similarly, Kali is also a designation. Any living entity can become.
It's a position.
Kali.
Yes.
It's a position.
Yeah, Krishna empowered the living entity to come. Just like Indra. You know, Indra is a position. It's not a defined living entity. Brahma, Indra, there are 33 million demigods, and they're all a position. Just like you are Indian, yes, you can become the Prime Minister tomorrow if you are elected. Yes? Technically you can. But technically you can go to jail also if you kill somebody. So, it's your choice. Now, if we desire to become Brahma, Indra, then Krishna will give us such a position. The living entity on this higher planetary system, they maybe have such a desire to become controller. Because demigods means you're controlling some elements, some energy on behalf of Krishna. Like the minister. There's a minister of road and what is called this road that's being maintained by West Bengal. A road, what is it called? Actually, it's not maintained, but anyway, it's pretty broken. But, you know, there are ministers who are in charge of different affairs for the government, on behalf of the government, right? Similarly, the demigods are taking care of different aspects of material nature. And those living entities who had such a desire, they will be appointed by Krishna to take such a position. So desire is the key factor. So let's desire, let's be careful what we desire.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the very interesting and very practical class. My question is that yesterday Hari Leela Prabhu said that there is a disparity in the number of projects which the temples versus the number of projects which the material world is. Suppose we have few temples here and big temples, 1 or 2, but when compared to the number of projects in the worldwide, materially, factories or anything is quite large and it's almost like incomparable. So now you said that there are challenges, especially in terms of the dairy products across the world, in America or in Europe and Australia and all that. That's a very finite, cognitive thought process on this. But suppose someone is introducing some fish oil and other things. So then how as devotees, right, it's a big challenge for us. It's like 1 foot on the grave. So we can't consider whether we can take those milk or reject it and become a vegan. So what's your recommendation on this?
Well, you know, as much as possible, we can try to take pure cow milk. But even the goats here, they give cow milk and maybe mix with Ganges water, which is okay, not so bad.
And that's good. That's good in India. But what about the people who are outside?
See, Srila Prabhupada was in, I believe he was in Hawaii, and they say, oh, we don't offer milk because milk is with this and with that. Prabhupada say, okay, forget about it. Krishna likes milk. Buy the milk from the supermarket and offer. So they told him that, okay, Prabhupada, we don't offer sugar because sugar is poison. But he said, but Krishna likes it. So you offer to Krishna milk with sugar. You don't want to take sugar? You don't take. But Krishna likes sugar, so you offer Krishna sugar. Okay, as much as possible, as far as possible, we want to offer Krishna all the purest things, which we can. So the best is that we have our own Goshala, and the milk is coming from there to here. I don't think in between they put water also. So that's pure milk. And so in other countries, some people, they also have cows in other countries as well. For example, in Australia, in Moolumbar, in the New Govardhan farm, we have at least 60 cows and 40 bull, 20 cows. They make milk, sweet. They make sweet paneer. They make so many sweet rice, which is pure. So, but as much as possible, you have to kind of compromise. Because if you're very strict, you have to go to Himalaya and live in a cave and drink only water from the Ganga. That's it. But how many people can do that? But as you say, because there is disparity in everything, our main goal is to preach Krishna consciousness in whatever situation we are. Whether we are in China, whether we're in Russia, whether we are in Africa, the mission is to awaken the living entity to Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj say, when he sent his people to preach in England, and he say, oh, people that eat meat, he say, you eat meat, but you preach. So the idea is that preaching is more important than everything else for the purpose of awakening the living entity Krishna consciousness. Now, this is not a license to go and eat meat and fish and do all kind of crazy stuff. I'm not saying that. As much as possible, we try to follow a regular principle, eat purely, become, Krishna conscious, become situated on the sattvic platform. But preaching must be going on, because preaching is the essence. Everything else, we see from when Prabhupada left until now, we have now 700 temples. We have many community, farm community, we have many schools. Some more successful, some less successful, but the preaching is going on. Distribution of books is going on. Harinam is going on. Prasad distribution is going on. And that's the mission of our life, what we have taken upon ourselves. We are not taken upon ourselves the thing, I want to be a brāhmaṇa, leave me alone. Then we have to go to Himalaya, have 1 cow and 1 coping, and live there. But that's difficult for everybody to do. Does this answer your question? I think we reached the maximum time. They told me 9 o'clock is 9:06. So I thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Harinam ki, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much.